I want to share with you a story about a case I had more than 10 years ago, and it was when I first started conducting co-parenting sessions. I am a co-parenting facilitator focused on high conflict cases. I've been doing it for 16 years, and it is so rewarding yet very challenging. I was meeting with two parents, but I had to see them separately because they just could not tolerate each other. The first day I met the father, he was cussing and he was so mad and so resentful, and it was just very hectic for him to deal with mom and mom to deal with him. I would hear him out, and at some point during the session I asked him, I want to ask you a question. And he said, go ahead. I said, okay. Are you willing to do whatever it takes for your daughter? He paused and looked at me and said, what do you mean? I said, yeah, are you willing to do whatever it takes for your daughter? I said, don't answer that question so rapidly. Take time, think about it. And he said, I don't have to think about it. I love my daughter. I'm willing to do whatever it takes for her to be happy and to be safe. And then I said, well, if you're willing to do whatever it takes for your daughter, why can't you get along with mom? He stood quiet. He said, a good one. Weeks later, I see him, and he says, I want to tell you something. Remember that question that you asked me? Well, it stayed in my head, and I was like, I can't believe I'm saying that I want the best for my daughter, and yet I'm not making the effort to get along with the other parent. He said, I have something to share with you. I said, okay. He said, I had a birthday party celebration for my daughter, and I invited her mother. I was like, what? I was so shocked. I said, okay, good. And what happened? He said, as we were singing happy birthday to our daughter, I was on the left and mom was on the right of our daughter. And our daughter started to cry. And we said, what's wrong? Why are you crying? She said, this is all I wanted, to have both of my parents to get along. He was one of the first cases I had, and because of their case, it impacted me to continue to help families, for them to understand that co-parenting is important. You're never going to force, or you can never change anyone unless they want to. But when you are able to challenge them, in my case as a professional, it really creates a change because he was willing. He was willing to put his pride aside for the well-being of his own daughter. And I've never forgotten this man. Because if you would have only heard the things he was saying, you would have been like, wait, what? So I don't lose hope in these parents that I work with. And I always try to make sure that they don't lose the hope themselves, because anything's possible.